Hi there, my name is Mr. Pete, and I am a fourth grade teacher currently reading Louis Sachar's Holes. We are about to start chapter 17 with the boys digging for more of these tubes. They found a gold tube that had KB with a heart on it a couple of chapters ago. And the warden, who we first met when we found that tube, is clearly looking for something else. And they haven't been able to find it because, of course, Stanley gave the tube to X-Ray, and they're looking around X-Ray's hole from the next day as opposed to Stanley's hole the previous day. What's going to happen? Chapter 17, to my kids, again, put setting. All of our setting, really, for the most part, has been out on the lake with minor little time jumps to the rec room or to the bunks. Chapter 17, here we go. For the next week and a half, the boys continued to dig in and around the area where X-Ray had supposedly found the gold tube. They widened X-Ray's hole as well as the holes Armpit and Squid had been digging until the fourth day when all three holes met and formed one big hole. So please make sure you're noting the time as we're going over some time here. So this is 4 days now. As the days wore on, so now we're even moving on further, the warden became less and less patient. She arrived in the morning and left earlier in the afternoon. Meanwhile, the boys continued to dig later and later. "This is no bigger than it was when I left you yesterday," she said after arriving late one morning, well after sunrise. "What have you been doing down there?" "Nothing," said Squid. It was the wrong thing to say. At just that moment, Armpit was returning from a bathroom break. "How nice of you to join us," she said. "And what have you been doing?" "I had to, go." The warden jabbed at Armpit with her pitchfork, knocking him backward into the big hole. The pitchfork left 3 holes in the front of his shirt and 3 tiny spots of blood. "You're giving these boys too much water," the warden told Mr. Pendanski. Irony, because when we first met the warden, she told Mr. Pendanski that he was giving them too little water. She was asking Mr. Pendanski to give them more water. Now you're giving him too much. And obviously the way she's treating the boys has shifted a little bit. Space, so some more time has passed. They continued to dig until late afternoon, long after the other groups had finished for the day. Stanley was down in the big hole, along with the other 6 boys. They had stopped using the wheelbarrows. He dug a shovel into the side of the hole. He scooped up some dirt and was raising it to the surface when Zigzag's shovel caught him in the side of the head. He collapsed. Okay, before we continue, why would Zigzag hit Stanley with the shovel? We've already talked about Stanley as a character, so there could be some reasons there. I also want you to think about the digging. Do the boys know that they aren't going to find anything? And who would they blame for that? He wasn't sure if he passed out or not. He looked up to see Zigzag's wild hair staring down at him. Personification? Wild hair doesn't stare. "I ain't digging that dirt up," Zigzag said. "That's your dirt." "Hey, Mom," Magnet called. "Caveman's been hurt." Stanley brought his fingers up to the side of his neck. He felt his wet blood and a pretty big gash just below his ear. Magnet helped Stanley to his feet, then up and out of the hole. Mr. Sir made a bandage out of a piece of his sack of sunflower seeds and taped it over Stanley's wound. Then he told him to get back to work. "It isn't nap time." When Stanley returned to the hole, Zigzag was waiting for him. "That's your dirt," Zigzag said. "You have to dig it up. It's covering my dirt." Stanley felt a little dizzy. He could see a small pile of dirt. It took him a moment to realize that it was the dirt which had been on his shovel when he was hit. He scooped it up, then Zigzag dug his shovel into the ground underneath where Stanley's dirt had been. Wow, okay, a lot happened there. The warden is sort of done with it, and any niceties she had with the kids sort of has ended. She wants less water. She stabbed poor Armpit with a pitchfork and knocked him into a hole. And on the other side of that, Zigzag is sort of losing it and cranks Stanley upside the head because he's angry at Stanley for a multitude of reasons. But he's also, struggling and is angry that the dirt fell off of Stanley's shovel onto his dirt and wants Stanley to pick up that dirt so that he doesn't have to dig it twice. I mean, how much dirt can be on a shovel? So a very interesting chapter where a lot happens in a very short amount of time. All right. So where are we going to possibly go from there? Who knows? But I can't wait to find out. All right. So nothing yet has come from this gold tube other than the kids shifting their work into this kind of frenzied look for what else you can find mode, and us being introduced to the warden, who started off seemingly nice to the kids, but we can see has a different side altogether. All right. So we are going to move on to chapter 18 in our next video, and I cannot wait to see you. Please make sure that you leave comments below, talk to me a little bit about what I'm doing, and talk about the book so that all of us can kind of share in that. Make sure you subscribe so that we can give you notifications about when more books are coming out, and hit that bell so that you can get notified. All right. Thank you so much, and I will see all of you on the next page. Peace.